Call this meeting of the May 12th Board of Adjustment to order. Take roll, notice all members are present. We'll start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Move on to our regular agenda. Got one item on the agenda, item A, buffer variance, lot 3 and 4, block 3, Fisher East Side Second Subdivision. A variance request from buffer yard provisions outlined in Article 8, Landscaping and Screening Standards, Section 62-562, Table 566-2 of the City of Dickinson Municipal Code to reduce the required buffer yard between a general commercial zoned lot and adjacent R1 and R2 zoned lots from 30 feet to 15 feet, located at Lot 3 and 4, Block 3, Fisher East Side, Second Subdivision. Do we have someone here to speak on behalf of this? Come forward, state your name, tell us what you're wanting to do here.
Morning. I'm Russ Heiser with Russ Heiser Construction. I'm asking for a setback of 15 feet because I plan on putting another building in the future, so I have enough room for a driveway to get in and out of the buildings. I don't know, did you guys receive the plot plan?
Yes, we have that.
So I'm just asking for 15 feet to get set back, and I'll be putting a fence and buffer for trees in the backyard and on the side also.
So that's on the west and south side? That's where
Correct.
we're asking
Yep.
for that, right?
Yep. From 30 feet to 15 feet. I also have a picture here of the building, if you guys want to see it, what I plan on doing there.
I think we got
Yep.
that too, yep.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Heiser?
Mr. Chairman, I just have one quick question. Did you have anything with the fire department with the setbacks? Have you talked to them, or is there anything from the city with fire department access? Are we all good if the setbacks are reduced in this area?
If the setback is actually reduced to 15 feet, we still have access around the structure. Provisions might have to go in once the applicant would, depending on the size of the building. These are depicted photos of a project, but we don't have this exact square footage of what is going on in the property. So once that is submitted, there might be provisions that the fire code may add on to the building permit.
Okay, but as far as right now, the fire department hasn't brought up any issue with this
It would have to remain clear around the building.
yet. Okay.
I also, from that plan that you have, it changed since then. It's going to be 2 buildings instead of 1. So there'll be 15 feet in between, because the fire department did need access to get to the back, to the center. So I decided to just do 2 buildings instead, so that way they can get their hose in between the buildings.
This shows 3 buildings total, 2 on the west side, 1 on the front.
Yep.
Is that what
Yep.
you're,
But for now, I'm just going to do the 2.
2 on the,
Yep.
how big is the driveway? I can't really read the number on this. Is
For
maybe 78 feet in between the
be
buildings?
75, I believe,
Okay,
between the buildings.
yeah.
Yeah, 75.
And you need that much in order to be able to get in and out of the buildings? Is that the
Yep.
reason? You
Yep.
can't?
For backing trailers in and whatnot.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Any feedback from the neighbors?
I received 2 phone calls. One neighbor off of Suncrest 178 is opposed to the request. They state that they would like to see the city keep the ordinance as far as the buffer yard requirement in place.
Okay.
And the other one was adjacent property owner that they felt there was no impact to their commercial property. So that was that inquiry.
The 50-foot buildings, is that standard or desired, or instead of like a 45-foot deep building, or,
I guess I need 50 feet for my trailer,
okay,
'cause I got a gooseneck trailer, like the back end to keep out of the weather.
okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, how high are your sidewalls?
16 foot,
60?
16.
16.
And Mr. Schwint, I'm assuming because it's not on here, that's okay with that setback? The 16-foot? That
Well-
doesn't,
Per the municipal code, the 30-foot buffer yard is the requirement per the city. That's why we're in front of here. The
but
15
if we're
feet-
the 15-foot, does the 16-foot sidewall height create any issues?
No, because this is GC.
Okay,
Part of that 30-foot buffer yard is in the equation as far as the breaking down the softness between a commercial property and a residential property. So the higher the building, the further from the property line, so that you don't feel that impact on the neighboring property, especially at R1 or R2. The buffer yard is there to actually create that softness, I guess, to create that. As far as trees, fencing, if the board is actually considering a reduction, again, the applicant shows trees on the west property boundary and a fence on the south property boundary. The board, if choosing, depending on a reduction of 5 feet, 10 feet, or the 15 feet, you can add to the request as far as requirements to create that softening to the adjacent neighborhood.
And the adjacent neighbors to the west, Leonard, those, they have a setback there too, I'm assuming? Their setback?
The rear yard setback for R1 is 20 feet. They do have, if you look at these properties, there are rear yard garages that are off the property. I believe 2 of the 5 have nice-sized garages up against that.
They're 20 feet off there.
The detached garage is not 20 feet. I believe there was an easement there. A detached structure can be 3 feet from a property line or an easement, whichever is greater. The primary residence has to be 20 feet from their rear yard. Same with the R2 to the south.
So those detached sit well within like 15 feet. They're almost on
Correct.
the
They're,
line, right?
yes.
so if I understood you right, you're saying there's gonna be a fence just on the south side and then a tree buffer on the west side, is that?
There's
Or is
a
there gonna
radi-
be a fence all the way around?
There's a radio fence on the west side, but some of it, the fence is gone, so I would have to put that in. Because there's
Okay.
actually, the neighbor's garage, they actually have doors facing my lot where they use my lot to get into their garage. But they also got a door on the other side too, where they can drive
Okay.
through their house garage into that garage. So I have to put a fence up there as well, as with
Okay.
along with the trees. 6-foot fence.
Mr. Chairman, I have another question. On the hardship, it says the other properties in the same vicinity that have the same GC zoning would follow a 0-foot interior side yard setback and rear yard setback. Is that talking about butting up against other GC, or what's the?
That would be butting up against other GC, that's correct.
These gonna be for sale or rent, or both?
The south one will be mine, and then I'm gonna be selling shop condos.
Condos, okay.
So basically, it's a shop with a bathroom and a floor drain.
Any other questions from the board?
One item to add there, the space, the actually building would be sold, but not the land.
Correct.
Correct.
Because you'll have a condo association or something,
Yep,
right?
yep.
These must be pretty popular. Seems to be a lot of them going up lately, huh?
There's a lot of them.
Any other questions? Staff have any comments?
I have one further comment. If the board is looking at reducing this, I would ask that a timeline be put on the trees, the size, and the fence as the duration of the project. And the code mandates that if trees are put in, that they be kept up, so that takes care of that. But the planting of them, I believe, should be within the scope of the building permit, the duration of the structures themselves. And that the west would be clear of any storage, outside storage.
The whole building would be like that. Nothing to be stored outside.
No outside store. Yeah, trees would make a nice buffer, and we think the fire department's not gonna have an issue with those there, I don't think, at this point.
No.
Suppose we have public comment, is that,
Yes, you'd have to open up for public.
do we know if we have anyone online?
I guess if you just want to state that it's open for public comment.
Okay. We'll open up this for public comment at this time. Seeing none, we'll close that portion. Does the board have any further questions for the applicant or staff? Or what's the board's wishes?
I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Turn.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion. I'll move that the City of Dickinson Board of Adjustment recommend approval of this buffer variance, subject to the conditions above. And those conditions above, I'd like Leonard to word regarding the trees and stuff for the buffer zone.
That the trees be planted prior to the completion of the project.
Yep. Yep.
And the species of the tree meet the city's tree specs
Okay.
and size and height.
I don't have to say it's poplar then. Okay. Let's see here. Subject to the conditions as stated, as meeting all the requirements of the Dickinson Municipal Code, and also being in the interest of the public health, safety, and welfare.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ernst. Any further questions? Comments? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Mr. Bush,
Aye.
Mr. Ernst,
Aye.
Mr. Bren,
Aye.
Mr. Burke,
Nay.
and I'll vote aye. Motion carries. Now you'll work with Leonard and get things straightened up and
Sounds good.
in order, and trees planted and fences put up.
Thank you.
Nice project.
Is there any other business before us?
There's no other business.
No other business? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Motion by Pat. Second by Bruce. We are adjourned.